Hi everybody, I'm Leah. So we're going to work through a couple of kind of contraindications that come up when you're pregnant. So I am 22 weeks pregnant today with my second child. And sometimes I have a little bit of wrist soreness. There's no injuries, but when you're pregnant, sometimes your wrist can feel a little bit sore, a little bit weak. This can also happen as a pre-existing condition. So we're going to work through a couple things that can kind of help relieve some of that tension or some of that fatigue, or even if there's a little bit of pain. So some really simple things you can do are just simply shake out your wrists, right? Really easy just to get the blood flowing, and just kind of flop them around a little bit. And then sending your hands forward in front of you, really press through your palms like you would in like a high plank, and then dial your elbows down. So just put a lot of energy in your hands. Good. Just take a moment here and breathe. And then really notice your shoulders. See if you can plug them down your back. And your elbows don't necessarily need to lock out 100%. So if you notice that you're slightly hyperextended, right? So if you look at your elbow from the side and you notice there's a curve in like the other direction, right? If your hand's kind of down here and your elbow is up here, then you want to put a slight bend in your elbow, but you can still activate. So if you're still holding this and it's been about 30 seconds, you might notice kind of a tingling sensation up through your forearm. So just stay in that for just a few more moments. Good. And then just take your hands down and then flex them up. Good. Down, flex them up. Good. Then take one hand and just press through and just really push through those fingers. Spread your fingers wide. Take the same hand and dial it down. Nice, and then switch, press, and then dial it down, exhale. Good. And then bring it back, and then again, just give it a little shake, get all that blood to flow back in. So something else that I like to do, which looks a little funny and feels a little funny, but is super effective for working the muscles of the wrists and kind of up into the forearms, are these little flashes. So slow motion, they look like this. So you want to make sure that you keep this action, like you're throwing a ball through your fingertips, but you want to pick up the pace. If you want to start slow to kind of feel what it's like, so really use your fingers, and then you have these flashes, maybe 30 seconds, and this is something you can do anywhere. So if you're starting to notice a little bit of wrist fatigue, or once the baby's born and you have, a baby to hold all the time, sometimes wrists or carpal tunnel start to really creep in. They did for me with my first. This is a really great way to kind of rehab that or get some blood flowing and really start to strengthen the muscles around your forearms and your wrists. Good, so keep going, and again, really use those fingers. It starts to get challenging after you hit like 15 seconds, so keep going. Again, it looks pretty funny, but it's very effective. Keep pushing. Good, you're here for 10, 9, 8, starting to feel that sensation. Good, last 6, last 5, last 4, keep pressing. You might start to slow down a little bit, but see if you can keep that pace up. 3, 2, 1, and then just let your hands settle. And then you might notice this very active tingling sensation in your hands. That is just all of that energy flushing through. Move your fingers around. Again, feel free to kind of shake it out. Beautiful. Nice. So something else that can come up is your wrists can feel fatigued because of like a nerve impingement in your shoulders, which happens a lot when you're pregnant. Increased blood volume, obviously, right? You're growing weight. Sometimes things start to get a little mixed up in the body. So often it can come from your shoulder. So something else you can do is kind of work on opening up those shoulders. A couple things for that. So very simply, you can take your right arm around your low back. Bring your left hand to meet your right. So you have a fist at your waist, and then rolling that right shoulder back, just look towards that shoulder. And then really plug the shoulder away from you, just a little bit opening, and you want to make sure that it's diving down the back. Take a big breath in. And then just a little deeper, breathe out. Nice, come back to center. Take your fist and just punch it down, open up your chest. Good. And then let your hands come to your knees and release, and just round your spine, move it around. Good, and then get nice and tall. Take your left hand around your back. Take your right hand to interlace. And again, plug that into your hip flexor, and then roll your left shoulder back, and then just look in the direction of your shoulder. Good. You have to kind of work to get that shoulder away from you. Again, dialing it down your back. Take a full breath in. And exhale. Beautiful. And then turn back. And then punch it down again. Lift your chest. Good. Bring your hands to your knees, around your spine. Good. And then come back to center. Awesome. So I'm going to show you one more thing. You can grab a towel or a strap if you have it. I'm going to do it with no props, just so you can see that it's possible with nothing. But if you have a strap or a blanket and you'd like to use it, feel free to use it. So take your right hand straight up and then bring it down your back. So you want an open palm. And then take your left hand and then stretch so you're going to open up that tricep. So you want to leave this hand where it is. You're going to take your other arm, spin it back, and then bring it behind your back. So now both of your hands are open. So if you have a strap, your hands would grab onto the strap or your towel. If not, then you just have to kind of work your hands against your spine. And same idea, roll your left shoulder back. Think about lifting your chest. Breathe in. Breathe out. Beautiful. Nice. And then slowly release the top arm, release the bottom arm, move that around a little bit. Your shoulders back a couple times. Roll them forward a couple times, and then up and down your back. Beautiful. Take your other arm behind you, right hand, dial it back, opening up your tricep. Take a full breath. Right arm sweeps around. Again, your hands may or may not connect. If they connect, feel free to hook your fingers or use your strap, your towel, or nothing, and then rolling that shoulder back. Breathe in, breathe out. Good, last one. Breathe in, and breathe out. Good. Release your top arm, bring it to your knee, release your bottom arm, and then again, feel free to move that around. Nice. So slowly just come up, and then exhale. Beautiful. So hopefully that works for you. Any of these things are perfectly safe to do in a chair, on the floor, standing up, sitting down. Just a really great way to work through that part of the body. Let me know if you have any questions. Namaste.